Hey everyone, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Monday, October 10th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below for more information. Alright, so today we are still in the first quarter phase, which is a good time to essentially take action, or rather take steps towards the new beginnings that have been shaping up over the past roughly week and a half. So at that time we had a new moon, so there's likely been a bit of freshness since then, maybe quite literally some new things developing in your life. So it's a good early part of the week to maybe take some steps towards that and to cultivate some of those new beginnings for you personally. Now today the moon will be in Capricorn, which is actually in a harmonious aspect up to a lot of the Virgo energy we've had, so a lot of this earth energy. And I think today is great for connecting to things in that slow and steady sort of way, which is earth. And with Virgo, it's still been great to be focused on how things can be improved, how we can focus on the details of things. Because there is, of course, things unfolding, especially with Jupiter, which I'll talk about here in just a minute. Things are certainly unfolding, and there's possibilities and potentials, but they do require a bit of this slow and steady self-improvement and personal development. And I think that's always a great way of working with Virgo, is just to see how things can be systematically organized, and we can work on the details and just all in all improve things in our life, whether it's ourselves, so just through personal development, or maybe our environment in a sense as well. So that's the Virgo energy, and then the moon in Capricorn is suggesting that today there can be a bit of emotional reserve and perhaps working on the patience side of ourselves. You know, Capricorn is about climbing that mountain, but it is about doing it one step at a time and sort of testing things as we go to make sure that every step we take is stable. You know, it does serve as the foundation to everything else we continue to climb. So I think with this emotional reserve that we will be feeling, because usually with the moon it's our emotions, it's our daily concern. Going into Capricorn, it can be quite reserved. With that, I think cultivating a bit of discipline, a bit of patience, and again, willingness to see the big picture, which can go a long ways. All right, so that's the placements. Now, in terms of the aspects, we do have this easier energy this first half of the week. One in particular, which I think will be emphasized today, is that Mercury is going to be conjoining up to Jupiter. So again, this is all in Virgo. This has been actually Mercury's third contact with Jupiter in Virgo, because he went retrograde. So now there's this final understanding, or this final culmination about the importance of having an open mind. You know, Mercury is the mind. Jupiter is the openness and willingness to see possibilities, willingness to see potentials. And this all comes from changing our belief system, opening up our belief system, because of course, what we perceive as possible is what can be possible. In other words, we can limit ourselves. If we're only seeing so far, if our horizon is only so open, then we're limiting ourselves to what can come in. And so I think it's an excellent day for expanding the mind a bit, seeing what is possible, seeing what is potential, and maybe quite literally, maybe more so going into tomorrow, some new beginnings with this. Maybe quite literally some new opportunities in our lives. But whatever it is, I think it's great to be open-minded. I think it's great to see things in a new way that is a bit more expansive. And again, this is all in Virgo, which is emphasizing the fact that yes, these things are taking time. It does require a bit of this organization. Again, personal development can go a long ways. But yeah, we have to work on the details of things, work on ourselves, work on the details of our life. And as a result, we can continuously expand and continuously see these things unfolding in our lives. All right, so that's going to be that aspect. It's also good for learning, by the way, if you're doing any reading today, any writing, maybe correspondence, communication. It can be a bit of buoyancy or wisdom coming through, you know, higher perspective, which is always good. Anything that you do work on a daily level does typically give you a bit of this more top-down perspective that Jupiter provides. You know, instead of getting too caught up in the details, we can perhaps have a bit of, you know, overarching perspective, see the big picture, which is nice. And yeah, continuing to improve and develop and see those potentials. Now, this is going to be accentuated by the moon. In fact, the moon will be trining up to that Mercury and Jupiter really confirming that, really confirming the fact that it is a supportive time for those things. And again, it's the earthy energy. It's how this perhaps patience and persistence and discipline can be very supportive to these potentials and to these things we're focused on at the moment. All right, so that's going to be the strongest energy going into tomorrow. Mercury conjoining Jupiter. On a minor note, Venus will be trining up to Chiron, so maybe there is some healing taking place with relationships, maybe with our values, and that could be supportive. So a good early part of the week for openness, for healing, and being aware of where we might have some wounds. Although they're not deeper wounds, I think there's just more of a rejuvenation of our wounds this week. Now, Mars sextiling up to Neptune is this opening that with this drive and this motivation to expand our horizons, because we have had Mars in Sagittarius, I think there's this openness, and I think this opportunity individually and collectively to take a step back, to have a bit of receptivity and acceptance in our life. And it's not a given, with sextiles, it's not necessarily going to happen like a trine where it's very supportive. This is just a gateway, and we can choose or choose not to cultivate this. But I think a great way of cultivating it is to see how, yes, we can take a bit of a step back, we can be a bit more receptive, and see that there is these things that are outside of our control in life always, and surrendering to that. And as a result, it can be good for getting things done, taking some action, and again, expanding those horizons. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. Definitely Mercury conjoining Jupiter, the third final aspect with this, some culmination, some things being put into motion about expanding those horizons, seeing potentials in our life. And with all this earth energy, of course, that it takes time, takes a bit of patience, discipline, and a willingness to take it slow. All right, so I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.